Flosstube. My name is Ria and I am the Blue Ghost Stitcher. Today is Thursday, October the 30th, 2025. And this is Flosstube number 22. So if this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. And please remember to like and subscribe. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. This is a kind of a cozy, quiet little corner of the Flosstube world. And grab a beverage. I have a hot cup of tea. It is dark, so I have the lights on because it's a very dark and rainy day. The lake is really noisy and hopefully it doesn't interfere with the microphone on my phone. I kind of hear it when I stop talking, but we'll see. So let's grab a beverage, hot cup of tea, on this very windy and rainy October day, October 30th. Tomorrow's Halloween, and this particular Flosstube is going to be all about Stitch North, which was just recently, October 24th to the 26th, last weekend. I got back Monday. I stay an extra night because I usually have some errands to run, and then I stop at my parents' grave in Woodstock because I don't live as close as I used to. So yeah, it was a really good weekend, and today I'm starting to feel like myself and a little more rested. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll saw this reel I shared. Sleeping cats is like, yes, the post-Stitch North exhaustion is real and it's absolutely worth it. Phenomenal weekend, and I'm going to share with you what I worked on at Stitch North, what I got up to, and haul. Lots and lots of haul. It was a very productive weekend. And kind of like my weekend where I stock up on things. And yeah, it was good. So I have tons of bags. I just kind of, the last day on Sunday when I was packing up, getting ready to go, I just packed everything into bags. So there's really no order of what's in these bags. One of these bags has the swag bag, so I'm not going to show the swag bag right away because I don't know where it is. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags, and then of course I bought project bags. So some of the project bags that I bought now contain projects that I kitted when I was there, and I think there's a couple of project bags that are still empty, which is good to have because there's always more projects to be kitted. So let's get started on this. I have no idea how long this is going to take, but we're going to see. I am back and I changed my clothes because I spilled tea on my shirt right there. So I changed, and then stain remover on the shirt. That's one of my favorite shirts. I got it at Marshall's. And then I put this shirt on, and then my hair was all messed up, so I just threw it up in a clip. We'll see if it stays. All right, let's try this. So, Stitch North was October 24th to the 26th. I left Thursday, October 23rd, and I stopped at Stitch It Central on my way to Brampton. So in here somewhere is some of the stuff that I bought. So that's included in the haul. I will specify. Arrived Thursday around supper time, Steeles Ave, rush hour, Brampton. Yeah, not a good time, but I did it. And the next day, Friday, was the first full day of Stitch North. Found my table 5, I think. I sat with Sylvia, Katie, Ellen, and Ryan. So it was just cozy. We had a couple extra seats, which kind of allowed us to spread out a bit. Ellen is from Maximum Cross Stitch, so she had her floor stand out, and she was getting a lot of questions. So if you were one of the people that walked up to Ellen to ask her about the floor stand during the weekend, I can attest, because I have one myself, the Hearthside Mark II, that everything Ellen said about how much of it's a game changer and how much she loves it and how wonderful it is all true. I've had mine, I think, for about 3 years now, and it's wonderful. And also, having been able to sit at Ellen's table, I got a sneak peek at one of her latest releases coming up in the new year. You know how she did the Queens, Anna Boleyn, Elizabeth I, and I think it was Catherine of Aragon? She is now, Ryan was doing the model stitch for her of Queen Charlotte, and it is going to be stunning. And I haven't stitched any of the queens yet, but we'll see how I feel. I mean, Lord knows I've spent enough money this weekend. So that was Friday. And then, let me see, Friday we had the doors open, found my table, sat down and stitched. I actually finished a project. It's in here somewhere. I'll show that to you later. And then Jeanette had her first talk on Friday, and that was more about her history, her story, how her growing up in Welland, Ontario on a farm, how she ended up out west in Calgary, and how she got into the designing of cross stitch and other needlework pieces. Jeanette is known for her projects that have a lot of specialty stitches. I've been wanting to expand my world and get into specialty stitches, so I did buy some stuff. I bought the Stitch North Jeanette Douglas exclusives, as well as some other patterns with the Roxy Floss conversion, and then, yeah, so we'll get to that when we get to that. And then, of course, it was burger night, shopping, worked on another project. Saturday, Jeanette had 2 talks, and there was also small exchange. I don't do the smalls exchange, but I love seeing everybody else's. Nobody at our table did the smalls exchange, but we still were able to see some of the smalls that people had received. And telling you, the cross stitch community, they are full. It's full of some amazingly talented people. It's unbelievable. And mentioning my table, Ryan, on Friday, I should have mentioned this, he did a lot of smalls that he just FFO'd, and they were all Jeanette Douglas, and they were phenomenal. I do not have pictures of them. I don't know, he hasn't done a Flosstube or a Rhyme a Guy in a long time, but I think if you follow on Instagram, Facebook, there might have been people taking pictures of some of his finishes, because he did put them on the brag table. So she had 2 talks, and the first talk was something she borrowed from Pigeon, the Pigeon cross stitch. I can't remember his first name. He's got the book that everyone loves. I've oohed and awed over it. And of course, I cannot remember his first name. He does a lot. He's Canadian. Anyways, she borrowed from him, and it was interactive. And it was questions of us as a whole. Like, when you stitch, do you stitch in silence? Do you watch Flosstube? Do you watch TV? Do you listen to music or audiobooks or podcasts? Do you stitch with a lot of color, or you tend to be monochromatic, very few colors? Do you do big projects, or do you like small projects? Like all kinds of neat questions like that. And then the third talk she did that afternoon was her experiences and thoughts. So she shared a lot about her travels, where she goes, what she sees, which also inspires her designs. That girl, I don't know, I was exhausted listening to her schedule. She had come to our table to talk to Ryan and Ellen, and talking about her schedule and how she's gone, like, she was just at the attic recently, I think Hobby House, overseas. She does river cruises. I don't know if it's part of her programs or if it's just with friends. The woman, I think, is gone more than she's home. It was exhausting, but you can tell it just fuels her passion for the craft of not just cross stitch, but embroidery and other needlework. She shared some of the people that she met and things that they've collected from. There was one lady, all she collected was scissors, embroidery scissors, and she had a custom-made cabinet, thimbles, antique needlework tools. It was just fascinating, I probably will put some pictures at the beginning. You probably have seen it. I took a couple of pictures, and she talked about in the swag bag there was a card of a pattern, and she walked through some of the things, including a new technique she learned. I'm still wrapping my brain around it for starting. So, you know, you've got your pin stitch, you've got loops, the loop start, however you start your piece with a new bit of floss. I tend to gravitate to pin stitch if I'm working with 1/2 or variegated floss, and then if I'm stitching like with DMC or anything that's not variegated, I tend to do, and it's 2/2, I do the loop start. But she introduced a new technique she learned, and somebody on Stitch North posted a video of what she meant, because it's one of those things you have to see it in action to understand, but it was quite fascinating. Yeah. And of course there was door prizes. I won a door prize again. I was really caught off guard because I won one of the Evertote project bags with coordinating floss last spring. And in my head, I won. That was the first time I ever won. I have been going to every single Stitch North since she started the retreats back in spring of 2022. And so I thought, you know what? I won last spring. I won't win this time. Whatever. So I'm working on a project. And you know, I said, oh, sure, okay, yep, all right. Because you know how she called, Hannah and Caroline will call the numbers. Okay, yep, no, not me, not me, not me, not me. And then all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, that's me. And I was just like, oh, that's me. And it's like, so I won a prize. I will share that later. I think it ended up getting broken up into bits because I automatically had to use one piece because it matched the project I was working on. All will be revealed. So I won another prize and I'm really happy. It was from one of my favorite vendors. And then Sunday, of course, is half a day. It closes around noon. And then I just got some last minute shopping in and I kitted a project. And when it came to the fabric, I really stepped outside my comfort zone. We'll talk about that too when I get to it. Either I will love it or I will be, this is the worst mistake I've made in my stitching life. We'll see. So this is going to be a mix of haul and what I worked on. Because it's, like I said, it's kind of hodgepodge, and this is giving me a chance to have everything out, and then as I put it away, I can organize it properly in my craft studio. So of course, there's pre-orders and anything that you could have ordered ahead of time that you just show up at the table on Friday, say, hey, and then they give you your bags of stuff. So of course, I'm part of the Fabric Club. I'm traditional, 36 count, ABC Floss Club, and the Project Bag Club. So that was in one of the bags. So I'm going to show you that first. The 36 count linen. I used to do 28 count and I switched it up to 36. And I believe because with tariffs and everything, they had to change some aspects of how they fulfill the orders and process them. So they had canceled the clubs and then restarted them, and you had to re-sign. So it always comes in a paper bag. I empty the paper bags too because when I changed my shirt, because I thought that'll be too noisy. So 36 count, and now she has to put made in Germany because that's how the US tariffs work now, based on country of origin, even though the fabric is sourced in Germany, I believe, but then Carrie does all the dyeing and her employees, but in Canada. So this is it. It's Kalamata, which is like the olives, sorry. And then this is, it's a beautiful earthy brown. Like, oh, it's gorgeous. Hopefully it shows up. So there's that. And then the ABC Club. So they were able, you didn't have to start the ABC Club from scratch. So they picked up from where I left off. And now it's 2 months in one package. It was more efficient for them. So this is month 9 and 10. And it starts from Ember and it goes to Garland. It's in the plastic. I'm not going to take it out just yet. It's very crinkly, but you can kind of see. She wants to focus on my face. There we go. The colors. Gorgeous, which goes really well with, it actually goes really well with that fabric, even though it's alphabetical. Oh, my pen dropped. Also, which is now part of the ABC Floss Club, Ellen has done a series of patterns. So we got the first one, which goes with the floss in the ABC Floss Club. And mini vases. And so this is A, B, and C. How sweet is this? So the threads that she uses is the ones that were A to C. So all the threads are of A, B, and C. You got Delft. Of course, you're not going to have every single thread that's A, B, or C. We have arugula, blunder, afternoon tea, caramel, Delft, kernel mustard, for example. So, and there it is. And of course, there is a DMC conversion. I have no idea if this will probably eventually make it to the shop. There is a DMC conversion with this. I don't know. And then the project bag. So it's Christmas holiday. So I love the Evertote project bags. They are so well made. So there's the big, well, the medium tote, the Notions pouch. Let's see what's on the inside. It's just a simple white lining, I think, for this. Yeah. I'm gonna put them together. And then a smaller tote that kind of coordinates. Here. Let's see what I can do here. Do. There we go. Hopefully you can see. Okay. There's that. And then I ordered the Jeanette Douglas Stitch North exclusives, and it came with, I do not have a thread bed, so this is what they chose for the thread bed, which is very handy to have. Quality made with pouches, little pockets on each side. Again, I'm not sure if, I assume it eventually is part of the main website offerings on the shop. All right, now, just a second here. My computer has been doing an update. It's just, I found the swag bag swag. So they wanted to recycle the paper because you get it comes in a paper bag. So I put it in this bag so that Caroline and crew could have the paper bag back and they can use it in their shop. So let's see what we have. So this is different little things that the vendors and Evertote, etc. put into the swag bag as donations. So we had Far Out Handmade from Etsy, and it was a set of stickers. Stitch North, I have not opened it, but I bought some of their needle minders. I absolutely loved it. the Sewing Shop floss. Oh, there we go. Does that focus better? There we go. Look at that. I have my overhead lights on because it's so dark and dreary today, so I'm not sure how well it's showing. The lighting's a bit off. I prefer natural light. Monkey and Mouse. Little floss thing. And then Deb from Buggy D Creations was the first time vendor, and it's a point turner for all those smalls that I'm now working on. It's clear, so it doesn't show up very well in the camera. Samply Stitch project bags. Oh, I got some of her project bags, and so it's in here. I'm gonna open this. It's in a little pouch. I can't really see it. She has these cards that you put on, whoops, that she puts on her project bags that she sells. Come on. So it says, in this bag, pattern name, date started, designer, fabric, thread, and notes. And then you can slip it in a plastic sleeve on the back of, if you get it framed, on the back of the frame, and if it's just like a FFO, that's like a cushion, you just, I would think you could just file it with a picture. I don't know, that's something I would do. And this is from Anne's Crafts, which is who I won the prize from. And it's a maple leaf with Toronto. It's a pattern. She does this every year. You just go to her booth if you prefer it's the plastic, I'm sorry. And then Gamma's Treasures. I love Gamma's Treasures. Just a simple little pouch. Looks like she used up remnants of fabric left over. Hand dyed by Rolanda. I got some stuff from her too. Blue gray. And then there was a pattern from Jeanette Douglas. I think it's somewhere else in my stash. And then this is from Stitch North. This is from Evertote. Cute little pouch. And inside the pouch, we have Roxy Floss and Aviation. And I've already made it into a tangled mess, and I have just looked at it. I haven't even. Aviation. Roses are red, violets are blue. We are excited to spend this weekend with you. And John James size 28 needles. She wants to focus on my face. And I haven't eaten it yet. I can go with my tea. Cookie. So one of the ladies that works for Caroline at Evertote, she does baking. And I'm gonna take it out because I can eat it. She bakes, and so she baked these cookies and decorated them so they look like a piece of wood. Oh. It's a spice cookie. Lekker, yum. That's good. I won't eat. I just took a bite. I'll save that for later. Have to have a cookie to go with your tea. I'm Dutch, so we always say if you have tea or coffee, you have to have a gebakje or a cookie. Gebakje is cake, a piece of cake. Don't spill on this shit. All right, let's go into this bag. What do we got? All right. Table gift. This was Sylvia from Rochester, New York. What is she? Oh. hand sanitizer. Everybody needs hand sanitizer, especially this time of year. Some needles and a little glass vial, plastic. Focus. And then this is a little sponge, and she said you put water in it. And then it just with your threads. And of course, a ring and a little charm for your project bag. That was from Sylvia at our table. What else is in here? Hand dyed by Rolanda. I got some fabric. And there's thread in here too. One. Oh, more fabric. How much did I buy from Rolanda? Oh yeah, and Debbie D. All right, Buggy D. All right, so hand dyed by Rolanda was there. She's she's Canadian. She's from the area. And she does, of course, fabric and floss and other little bits and pieces. I got fabric. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of fabric. Different things. This is 32 count frog bog. I fell in love with it. Look at the modeling. Of course, the camera's not going to show it, but that's gorgeous. This is a very soft linen. It's 36 count moonlit mist. The camera probably doesn't pick it up, but it's got like almost like a bluey green. It's very slight. There's very little modeling to it. It's a little bit, but not much. And the camera might not pick it up. Mango Tango in 36. Again, the lighting is not the best in here, but oh well. Especially with the overhead pot lights on. 40 count of vellum, which is a really nice neutral. Very pretty. And then 32 count Riptide. Almost like an aqua blue. Beautiful modeling. I love the textures that this has. So those are the fabrics I bought from Rolanda, and then I also got 2 skeins of 50 yards. So there's really no names because they're one of a kind. Here, let's use this nice neutral vellum because it'll show. So they're one of a kind hand dyed flosses that really don't have a name. But you can see it looks darker than it is. This is more dark reds and blues and some dark greens, and this is more lighter greens, earth tones. So that's that. It's going into my stash. Oop, this is crinkly, sorry. Close your ears, everyone. Deb from Buggy D Creations was her first time vending at Stitch North, so I got a few little things. She has point protectors, which are like little charms you put on the end of your scissors. Oh, bumblebee. You can put it on the end of anything pokey. So anyways, I got the bumblebee, and then a Highland cow with a couple of flowers. There we go. Some little buttons. Now that I've started to stitch some smalls, I have some pansy patch patterns that sew into pillows that I could see these buttons possibly going with it. And then a tape measure with a little strawberry on it. I have one like this, you know, these cheap little plastic ones, but mine broke, so it comes out, but it can't go back in. So this will travel better instead of getting all tangled. All right, what else? These are project bags. I brought more stuff than I worked on, so I think this is something I brought but didn't work on. Yeah, I didn't work on this. And same with this. I don't think I worked on it. No, I didn't. Okay, so that's just... All right. So this is Gamma's Treasures. And then this was Simply Stitched. So she did the cards. And so this is how she does it. So she's got a little plastic ring and it goes on. And I got this. I just love this. The red. I think this one, and then it has a little pom-pom. And, oh, I got a little coin purse. I love this for when I travel. So we got the big trip in the spring, and I love it because when we travel overseas, we have, of course, have Canadian cash, and then we have cash wherever we are. So I tend to put the Canadian cash in one coin purse, and then I would like to put the other cash and change of the other currency that we'll need in another coin purse. So this will be, we have Norway, so kroners, and then British pounds. So yeah, and then another Simply Stitched. This one does not, I loved this, the bunnies. And then this is Gamma's Treasures. I love her projects. This is empty. There's no project in, like these bags don't have projects in them. So it's Halloween. It's skeleton, sorry. I'm gonna zip it open again, sorry. And it comes with a notions pouch and then a coordinating floss bed. But what made me fall in love with this project bag was the embroidery. Look at that. Is stunning. Absolutely stunning. She only had one left by the time I got there. I don't know if she had any more hiding in boxes. You know how sometimes the vendors have extra stock in boxes under the table, but I had to have it. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right. Oh yes, so my prize was Anne's Crafts. And she's one of my favorite vendors. This one I think is empty. So yes, what was in it has been dispersed into different places. So this was part of the prize, a little scissor sleeve. So these are the scissors I travel with because they're small. They have a little plastic sleeve. That sits by my table. So that's one of the things. Let's open this. What else is in here? Oh, this was from the table next to us. Candy corn, a little squeaky frog, a floss ring with some beading. Gorgeous. Oh, I worked on this Sunday in my room. So I had some work to do. I'm gonna hit the camera tripod. I had some work to do. And so I worked a bit in the afternoon. And then in the afternoon, I worked for an hour, 2 hours. I brought this back out. So this is something, this was from Caroline's birthday in 2024 when she turned 50, the artsy housewife. Weeds and wildflowers. You've seen it. Most people are done, but not Rhea, because it was a stitch along. Rhea stitch alongs or start alongs. And I finished this and I put the leaf in. And I really want to finish at some point, but we'll see now that I'm home and things have settled down. So on 32 count, is this beehive or honey? Can't remember. And I don't have it written down here. So I worked on that Sunday in my room. And then, oh, here's the other prize. So when I won the prize, I was working on Pennsylvania Christmas Deer by Shakespeare's Peddler. It's on, oh, there's the other piece of the prize. It's on Ada. I think Sylvia said she thinks it's 18 count. I don't know my Ada counts too well. And I had started, this was part of my 24 starts of 2024. So last December, I got the deer started. And so I was about halfway through the deer's body. So I finished the deer's body and then I started this flower basket. And then this is the grime guard that I won. And it matches perfectly with the project I was working on when my number was called. And then the final little bit from Anne's Crafts was this really cute, I'm a needle minder junkie, what can I say? Needle minder. I'm gonna take it out of the plastic. Oh, penguin. Focus, there we go. So I made some progress on that. And then I worked a bit on this. This is a Patreon from Artsy Housewife. I started it, was it last spring or last Stitch North October? I can't remember. It might have been Stitch North October. Christmas cat. Yes, it was Stitch North October 2024. Christmas cat because it reminds me of Artemis, our cat that can't stay out of the tree. So yes, I started it in October 2024. That was it. And I worked on it a bit. And then I took it to Stitch North Spring 2025 and broke my rule. Gigi's RC Housewife, her borders, they're quite impressive. There's a lot to them. And one of my rules is I never do the border completely. I do a bit of the border and then I stitch components that are inside, right? But in the spring, I got cocky, I don't know. And so I screwed up. It doesn't match. So I started filling in. I'm impressed with how much I actually got done because normally I don't get much done at these retreats because I'm too busy. So I started filling in with the green and the pinks. And then I hope to start the greenery sticking out of the cat's head because that's Artemis. So, and then I can backtrack. I took some out already. And then I can backtrack. I'm pretty sure where I went wrong is somewhere down here. And of course the camera's not going to show it because the lighting sucks. So I did that. What else is in here? Oh, where's the one I finished? Oh, here's the, I can't show you. Here, I can do this. So, Learning Stitches Sweet Thread Book. This was in our swag bag from Jeanette. So I'm not going to show you the pattern. We took pictures. She shows us how to put together. So it's like a little book, and in it you can do pages with the different stitches. So it'd be like a reference book for your stitches. So it's got satin stitch, Bargello, Hungarian, different stitches. So, and it's the pattern's just for the back and the front. This is the front. I can't show you So basically the back is just some flowers with your initials. But yeah, that was in the swag bag. Okay, this is going quicker than I thought. Yeah, that's it for that. Last bag. What's in here? Okay. Where's the floss for the fabric? Okay, there is fabric for this. I just don't know where I put it. It's in one of these other bags. It'll turn up. So this is something I just had with me. I brought it with me. I didn't buy it, but I bought Jeanette Douglas vintage flowers. Hopefully the glare is so pretty. And I bought fabric for it, but I think I accidentally put it in a bag. And then the floss conversion. I think I got dirty porcelain or speculoos or something for this. It's somewhere. We'll get to it. We'll find it. Oh. And this was, I think, oh, and this was in here. Sorry. This, because this was part of the project bag of the month club. That's what it's from. August, September. All right. I'm just reaching in. This was also came with it. What did I put in here? This is why I went to Stitch It North. Stitch It Central. Went to Stitch It Central on my way to Stitch North. Stitch It Central is in London. It's in the south end of London, so I literally almost like it's a little bit out of my way as I hop off the 401 and divert myself. So I bought this. I have no idea. It's a pattern. Plum Street Samplers. I bought this, I think, 2021. I think I bought it online. Babushka's Bees from Plum Street Samplers. It's a 2018, so maybe I bought it around 2019, 2020, as I was just getting back into stitching. Absolutely love it. And so the fabric I got was Vintage Country Mocha, because I didn't like, because this is stitched on a very light fabric, and when I pulled the threads, I wasn't too fond of it. I found the white from the picket fence disappeared. So Vintage Country Mocha, and then oops, my threads are a mess. So it's a mix of what she used, Paulette, Classic Colorworks, and Weeks Dye Works. I bought some extra threads. What else is there? Oops. Yeah, there's the white autumn. And I found it was getting lost on some of the white fabric, so I decided to go with the Vintage Country Mocha. It's just something, I always gravitate to Vintage Country Mocha when I step outside of the Roxy Floss fabrics. There's pinks, of course. Oh, I love that. The variegation on that's pretty. Anyways, it's not perfect, but that gives you an idea of the color palette. And for me, this seemed to work better than the white fabric that was originally called for. There was just components that I found were getting lost and just didn't appeal to me. So that was from Stitch It Central on my way to Stitch North. There's my finish. I can cut the tag off. I started this last summer, 2024. It's not a big one. It's from Primitive Hair. This is very small, simple. Has to do with the sale. $16.92. They missed one. It's stitched on 30 count jack-o'-lantern linen. So linen from Primitive Hair, and Witching Hour is the floss, which is a brown. It's like 33.71, whatever that DMC brown one is. And that is the finish. I did make a mistake in counting, separating they and then mist. Mist needs to be a bit lower, but I fudged it. It works. It's a finish. How I'm going to fully finish it, I'm not sure yet. I could just buy a simple frame from a thrift store or Michael's or something. Or do a pillow finish, something. It's seasonal. I'm not a big seasonal stitcher, so okay. What else have we got? This was a stunning Evertote bag. So pretty and happy. Okay. This is another Jeanette Douglas, Stitches Be Sweet. I stocked up on my Jeanette Douglas patterns. And this also has, so that's the sampler, sorry about the glare. And it has a small and a scissor fob as well. And the fabric I chose, look at the inside, so happy, was Biscuit 32 count. I thought that went well. And the floss, again, I'm not going to take it out of the wrapper because otherwise it'll be just a disaster. I'm going to take all this to my craft studio and organize it better. And I have an app on my phone that I catalog what I have kitted, what I don't. So, okay. How cute is this? Another Stitch North Evertote. I'm going to find that fabric. There's the fabric. Remember the flowers? Vintage flowers? It's 36 Dirty Porcelain. I was right. That goes with the vintage flowers, which I have now lost in my chaotic pile. Vintage birds. The peacock had me. You had me at peacock. Hopefully the glare's not too bad. And then 32 count speculas is what I've chosen for this. And the floss is, again, this is a Vintage Birds Roxy Floss Evertote Hannah, Floss Boss Hannah conversion. You can kind of see. So that'll go really well, I think. Yeah. Please like me. So there's that. We haven't gotten to the one that I kitted up that's going to be out of my comfort zone, though. That's coming. It's in here somewhere. What else is in here? Oh, this is something I bought at Stitch It Central. Blackbird Designs. Take the price tag off. A Heart Remembers. This I love. I love Blackbird. So it is stunning. When was this printed? 2022. Heart. Oh, look at that. Oh, little small, typical Blackbird, right? This is such a beautiful, delicate remember me of the blue. What do they use? Aged pewter. Oh, on a very nice vintagey fabric. What's the fabric they use? Scrap fabric. Doesn't say what they used. So yeah. So this is a series of smaller patterns that they stitch together. So that's what I got from Stitch It Central. This is the, save that for last. Gamma's Treasures. Project bag. This is one of the Stitch North exclusives from Jeanette Douglas. They had, of course, the samples, so Happy Autumn. So I bought this as a kit, pre-ordered it on 32 count speculoos and the floss pack. Sorry for the glare. I do not start anything new at Stitch North because it doesn't end well. It doesn't start well. Anyways, it was very cute, very sweet. They had the model there and it was stunning. We're getting to the end. All right, 2 more project bags. What else is in here? Oh, bought this at Stitch It. Heartstring Sampleries. It's just a pattern. I just like the quote that's with it. I have to kit it up. There's nothing, it's called Heartstring Samplery. Really friends. There's nothing I would not do for those who are really my friends. I just thought it was sweet. So I bought that, just the pattern. I can kit it up. I think there's some floss, Forbidden Fiber Co. floss, which I'm having a hard time finding. Oh yeah, and this was from Jeanette Douglas. It's the book, Learning Stitches Sampler. So it's a good, teach yourself some specialty stitches. Like the boxed Hungarian diamond, the Warren ribbons. It was a bit pricey, but I think it's going to be worth it. All right, 3 more project bags. Gamma's Treasures. How beautiful is, oh, this is the other Stitch North exclusive in here. We have a fox in the neighborhood. I sometimes see him running across the road. So this is Katie at our table started this. It is stunning. It's the Fall Stitch Sampler. There we go. Sorry for the glare. And I bought it with everything I needed, included the spool. So you got the spool. So for this, you had to have 36 or 40 count. You couldn't do 32, 28 count because otherwise it wouldn't fit. 36 count biscuit with the floss pack. So Katie started it. She never has done, like me, specialty stitches. And so she got till about, focus, there. Like just underneath these cords. And it was very much a learn as she goes kind of thing. All right, which is which? What's this one? Okay, this is, I pre-ordered the patterns with the floss and embellishment packs from Jeanette Douglas. It's the Seasons by the Sea. So it just came with the patterns. So you've got spring. Again, the glare, I'm not taking it. It's those stupid pot lights. Summer, and then you've got the floss and embellishment packs. Autumn and winter. She's gonna be a biggie. And then I picked out the fabric, and it's Glacier because it's light enough, but it has that, of course the camera's not picking it up. It looks pinky purple, but it's a blue, bluey gray, which goes with the whole by the sea theme. and the flosses that are in the packs don't get lost in it. And Jeanette told us when you get, so when you buy, because now there's the Seasons in the Garden series, so you, and it also gets like these floss and embellishments, and she packs them in such a way so you don't want to mess it up. So, and then it's just got the key of what's in there. Well, there's that. And then I'm gonna put that in there for now. Last but not least, this is Simply Stitched project bag, a William Morris inspiration. Somebody at Stitch North completed a Haid that was a William Morris. A little different than this, but the same thing, full coverage. Oh my God. So Ellen had this on her floor stand. She was working on it all weekend. And this is the pattern. Ellen enabled me. Vintage Flowers 2. Let me see if I can take it out of the pack. Sorry. This is it. You can see the colors. I ended up opening it, the floss pack. So Hannah did the floss conversion. Ellen was using the floss conversion, and then she was using, there's 2 new colors. I think it was Caramel Latte. I can't remember exactly. And it looked really good. And when it came to choose the fabric I wanted, I decided to go, I've never done something like this before. I am a stitcher that when I kit something, I will use the called for threads and as close to the called for fabric. As you know, a lot of times it's neutrals that I go for. If there's a floss conversion, it's usually somebody else did the floss conversion, especially Hannah from Evertote. Or Carrie. I've never really attempted a floss conversion myself. So this is the floss pack. And so I spent 20 minutes, half an hour picking this fabric. Let me see if I can show you the floss pack. This is the floss conversion done by Hannah, of course, because she's the floss boss. She's amazing. So this is the floss conversion. So Ellen was doing it and it showed beautifully, but I wanted something different. I don't know what came over me. I don't know. I messed around with different fabrics. I went back to my traditional dirty porcelain, speculoos biscuit. But no, because some of this, like this, was going to get lost in it, or some of the lighter flosses, right? And then there was something else I found, but I found this thread was getting lost in it. So I come across this. I know there's people that were there when I picked this out, and they said, "Who are you? We're going to follow you on Instagram to see how this goes." And I said, I don't know when I'm going to start this. This might be a new start within the next few weeks, just to make sure I did not royally screw up in my choice. So this is the fabric I chose. It's Allured in 36 count. I was drawn to this. This just, I don't know. And there was something similar. It's the one that they did the JetX, the Magpie on. But that was too cool. These, I found this needed something warmer, and this Allure had had that warmer touch. I'm either going to absolutely hate it or absolutely love it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So hopefully, and of course the lighting's not going to show the true colors of this, but I find nothing gets lost in it. I don't know. You can let me know what you think. If you can think, yes, it's gonna work, or oh my God, what have you done? Again, I've never done anything like this. The steps I usually, whoops. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just losing floss. I think it's gonna work. Of course, the lighting is not gonna show it properly, but I think it's gonna work. I just lost some floss. So that's my big whoop-de-doo that I've done. Very different than what Ellen did. It's stunning. And the thing is, a push comes to shove, and I start this on the Allure, and I get partway through and I absolutely hate it, I can always set it aside and rekit it with, I think this was caramel latte. So we'll see. I have to get it all set up. I have to iron the fabric. I'm gonna put it on scroll rods because it is definitely a scroll rod worthy piece. So it's one of those, I'm gonna absolutely love it or I'm absolutely gonna hate it situations. So that's it for Stitch North. This is just gonna be all about Stitch North. My next floss tube will be more whips. I've been working on Sampler September, Maximum Cross Stitch Jane Wood since I got home the last few nights. Monday night I did nothing. I was too exhausted. I had a bath, watched Murder and Evensong on Acorn, the new British murder mystery, cozy, and took a bath and went to bed early and slept. Tuesday was very slow moving, but I did get some cross stitching on Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Today's Thursday, so I'm gonna do some more cross stitching. So I'll share that. Plans. I'm behind in my quintessential Frisians. I'm going to start the Biscornu probably this weekend, stitching that. I know November project is coming up Saturday. The clocks go back an hour. Cats are going to be confused. So I'm going to work some more in Jane Woods, start the quintessential Frisians Biscornu from October. I'm done running the roads. I normally don't go away as much as I have been for September and October, and I'm very much an introvert homebody. I love going away sporadically, but it was like every single weekend because Laura was here till after Labor Day, and then we were home for a week or so, and then we went away for a weekend, and then we went away for a weekend, and then it was Thanksgiving weekend, and then there was something else. Oh, there was I did an art class, mosaic, with my sister-in-law's an artist. I don't have that with me. We made a mosaic. We did a hike with a friend who's a naturalist out by Grand Bend. There's a pinery, if you know Ontario, the Pinery by Grand Bend. It's a big provincial park, and there's some private land bumping against it that you get to off of the highway, and the Pinery's huge. Again, if you're from Ontario, you know it's a huge provincial park. And then you go along the highway to Grand Bend, and there's also houses tucked away, because the Pinery only has one entrance, and then it kind of spreads out along the water. And so these people, he's an entomologist. His specialty is moths. So they own just over 40 acres, I think it was, of Carolina savanna. So the Carolina woods, unfortunately in Ontario, we have lost most of it. There's only small pockets available, and this is one of them. And certain groups are trying to protect it from developers, because there is also a development. So you've got the pinery over here, and there's a development here, and then the highway over here, and then there's some houses, and they own this. Carolina is protected. They're donating it to an organization within the area that's going to protect it and preserve it. So it has, we had a naturalist who was walking us through the different oaks that are there: white oak, red oak, black oak, different grasses. It was phenomenal. And then afterwards we went to the Grand Bend Art Center. It's just off the main drag, and we created mosaics. So Dave's sister, she's an artist, she's a teacher. So Dave created a mosaic based on what we felt. So that was that weekend. And then last weekend was Stitch North, and now I'm home. I'm not going anywhere. And so now I can focus, regroup. I've regrouped and recharged. And so I can focus on things I want to focus on. I've got a deadline with work that they gave me an extension, and so I can do that. I'm focusing on that, and I'm definitely going to get this started. I'll share it on Instagram. I'll share it hopefully in my next Flosstube later in November. Holiday countdown boxes are a bit behind. Caroline and crew at Evertote have had a few hurdles that they had to overcome in the midst of everything going on with Stitch North and the holiday countdown box. The tariffs from the US, they had to recalibrate some things. So that kind of took away from, I believe, she'll probably explain more, on getting the holiday countdown boxes out. I guess some people are getting anxious. They're coming. I'm looking forward to mine coming later this month, and that'll be December. Jingle Ball is in December. I have not signed up for Jingle Ball. I've done Jingle Ball the last couple of years. I never did the chat rooms, but I did some of the classes. For me, it's a very busy time of year. It's usually the weekend we're setting up the tree. And I really don't get the full experience out of it that I would like to. So, and the classes I sign, because I live in Canada, for obvious reasons, they can't ship the materials here. And so, and then there's the holiday countdown. So I find there's enough moving pieces for my month of December. So I've decided this year I'm not going to go to Jingle Ball, attend it. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, but it would be fun. It's like, nope. I've got enough stuff on the go. So I am not attending Jingle Ball this year, but please, I loved it when I was able to participate in some of the classes and watch. I just found it's just too much. I got Laura coming home for the holidays again, so there'll be prep for that. And so yeah, there's other things going on with work and business, our businesses. So that's taken my attention as well. So no Jingle Ball this year, and of course no Stitch North, because we have a big trip overseas with Amanda and Laura. So that is going to take up most of my May and June, but oh well, in 2026. But yeah, so work on Jane Woods, start the Biscornu from Quintessential Frisians, and then I want to get this started the next couple weeks to see whether or not I love what I've done or I hate it. It could go either way. And I won't know until I try it, and it'll be the first time I've stepped out of my comfort zone and picked an actual fabric that is completely different than what the called for it is. I did not do my own floss conversion this time. So that is it. It's me again. I forgot the needle minders I bought from Far Out Handmade. Project bags and needle minders. Yes. So, chaos with a trash panda. So pretty. It's like a bouquet of tulips. So pretty. This is very appropriate for me. Hocus pocus. You lost your focus. Squirrel, you lost your focus. BS remover. Yes, my sarcastic sense of humor shining through. I make mistakes. Don't we all? Never a mistake, always a lesson, never a failure. And then appropriate for Halloween-ish, God forbid women have hobbies. All right, let's get back to the main part of the Flosstube. This was just your little futuria. Now we're gonna go back. Hopefully I can do a Flosstube mid-November-ish. And I'll show you how far I got on Jane Wood. And then the quintus, I gotta finish the scissor fob, get the biscorner going. They're not big, so hopefully I can get it done. So yeah, we'll see what I get in mid-November, and then we'll see. So until next time, I hope you are well, that you're finding a little bit of joy and peace and magic whenever you can, when you put needle and thread to fabric and create some magic. And happy Halloween if you have kids that are trick-or-treating or grandchildren trick-or-treating. I hope you enjoy and you have a wonderful day. And Christmas is coming. I'm excited. Take care, and we will talk to you later.